it sounds like these two young girls were at home and they were, wrapping Christmas presents. One of the girls spots a strange man in her kitchen. Turns out, it sounds like this guy's like a meth head. So a girl does the right thing, takes her sister, goes downstairs, locks the door, calls police. Law enforcement respond immediately. What happened here? What was the story?
Yeah, absolutely, Aaron. You're spot on with that. Is that we did have two young ladies that were at home. The parents were away at church, and they were in the basement or the downstairs of the house. Heard some noise. One went upstairs to investigate and saw a strange man standing in the kitchen area. I'm so proud and impressed with their with their wherewithal. Did not panic. Went downstairs, hid themselves in a bedroom, secured that, and then called the police. Gave clear and concise details on where they were at and what it is that was taking place. Our officers showed up, and they did encounter this gentleman here. His name was Benjamin Poole. He was sitting at the kitchen table, wearing a hoodie and some dark clothes.
Just sitting there?
Sitting there at the kitchen table. Failed to respond to orders of the officers. They elected to send a K-9 in rather than go in and try to, force this issue and potentially chase this person downstairs to where the girls
were. Putting themselves at risk, maybe cause some sort of.
Absolutely.
You never know; it could cause gunfire, anything.
Yeah, you don't want to create a hostage situation or a barricade situation. In this particular case, we were fortunate enough to have very, very capable police service dogs. This one named Susan, of all things.
This is my favorite part of the whole story.
Exactly. Those dogs come to us pre-named because I've shaken my head at some of them as well. But nonetheless, well trained and managed by the handler, Officer Jeremiah Adams, and dog went in, engaged, and was able to control the suspect till the officers could go hands-on.
So Susan took down Benjamin the meth head who broke into somebody's house. Good job, Susan.
Good job, Susan. I think the one thing that I'd like to underscore here, number one, the outstanding demeanor of these two young women that handled this very, very appropriately and the way we would like to. And second of all, I think what it demonstrates is the danger of this methamphetamine and the drugs that we're dealing with. The reason why we don't have this individual charged with a burglary, more criminal trespass, is that he didn't go and do any other crime once he broke into the house. So you have somebody who is completely disoriented, has no idea what he's doing, where he's at, totally under the influence. He's irrational, does not respond to officers, and these are the dangerous symptoms that that civilians are going to deal with on the front end, and then ultimately when officers get called. So I'm just very, very thankful that it turned out well, and that the only battle damage we have is a little bite mark or whatnot to Mr. Poole on that. But I think it speaks volumes to the, how volatile these people are or can be.
Well, and this story stands out because it involves, a couple young ladies who were at home, and then of course Susan the dog taking out, the guy here, not taking him out, but bringing the situation to resolving the situation, but there's probably countless stories like this of breaking and entering. I mean, I heard U.S. Marshal Rod Ostermiller give a talk a couple weeks ago, and I think we'd really be amazed at just how much law enforcement is actually dealing with on a day-to-day basis, because we just don't see it, we don't hear about it. The other thing about this story, so this Benjamin Poole guy, he was taken to a local hospital for care because it sounds like he was obviously on something. This is according to Andrea Lutz's report. He told hospital staff that he is a care provider, and that's why he has marijuana. Oh, so he's just a marijuana care provider. Yeah, I'm sure for providing great care to his patients out there.
Yeah, we do hear that frequently. It's an unfortunate situation with that. But again, at the end of the day, we were able to resolve that situation peacefully, and the young ladies are okay, and hopefully they're not too traumatized with this. But good ending. And you're absolutely right. Things like this happen all the time. They just don't make it to the headlines.
Yeah. But it also makes me wonder, a lot of the people who are pushing marijuana and saying, oh, don't worry about marijuana. Well, you know, they fed this false narrative that if we legalize marijuana, or if these people do marijuana, well, then they won't do meth. I mean, here's a guy who had marijuana and meth in his possession here, and so, not saying that's, you know, emblematic of everything out there, but, you know, I think there's people who feed us a line one too many times on this stuff.
Yeah, that's a whole nother show, Aaron, on on talking about that. Certainly a sensitive topic across the state, and now it's turning around the country as you're starting to see more states come on board with medical and recreational marijuana. But
yeah. All right. Well, Billings Police Chief Rich St. John, always a pleasure. Thanks for popping in here, especially last minute. Thanks for everything you and your officers do. And if you guys need anything during the holidays, get a hold of us. Come pop into the studio. If you got a message, you got to get out anytime.
Absolutely. So, thanks for having me.